Hey folks, today I am drawing the line. Drawing the line. Not too good though. Stock music was something that made me pretty decent income last year. But this year, with changes at Motion Array and some down months at Pond 5 and Audio Jungle, it's become a little bleak. Now, last year I did this video on Content ID that you might remember, and I talked about the reasons why I wasn't using it. But as you heard in my last video where I talked about some different strategies for 2022, I've kind of changed my tune, and Content ID is now part of my strategy. So what's changed? In this video, I want to explain why Content ID is now such an important part of my strategy, especially on the stock side, and why drawing a line, a literal line between sync music and stock music is so vitally important. Ready to draw a line? Now, before we get started, I just want to make sure that you know about the free stuff that I have for you. You can find that right here. I have the 50 Ways to Make Music Income book, which will give you some ideas on how you can monetize your music. Also, you can get my free course on how to upload to Pond 5. So if you're doing that for the first time, you can walk through that quick course and really get going fast on stock music. I talk about everything Pond 5 in this video right up here. You can find both of these free products at MakeMusicIncome.com/free. So what do I mean when I say we need to draw a line between stock and sync? Well, I've always thought of these things as mutually exclusive, or non-exclusive, if you will. For my sync stuff, I write and produce at the highest level I can, really focusing on what could be used in TV, a scene, or in a score, or in a commercial. These are finished, full songs, and they often feature professional singers, players, and just different people that I have involved with me from Nashville, Orlando, and other music cities around the United States. These are high-end products. Sync and all licensing is a super competitive world out there, so you better be armed with the absolute best produced and written material. On the sync side, we are concerned with upfront fees or sync fees that we get in the front end, but we also are concerned with back-end payments through our PROs, which could be BMI, ASCAP, SOCAN in Canada, PRS in England, or whatever country you live in. So I sometimes literally draw a line and put the sync stuff that I'm working on this side of the line. I'm working on a new video that should be right here by the time you see this. It's going to be kind of an explanation and detailing my thoughts and my experiences with sync licensing. Like I said, you can find that right here, or you can just watch it. I'll put it in the description below and you can watch it later. Yeah, do that, watch it later. Okay, so we have drawn a line. On the other side of the line from sync is music that we compose and we produce for stock music uses. These are pieces that fit nicely behind YouTube videos or presentations. These are downloaded by creators in the same way they download stock videos or stock photos. On this side of the line, I am creating music for stock that I can basically create right here in my studio by myself. I'm writing it, I'm producing it, and I'm focusing it on how I can use it for content creators needing that kind of music for their videos. A lot of times I am producing different versions. I am producing the full version. I am also producing a seamless loop version that they can use over and over throughout a scene without having to stop the music as long as they need to for a part of their video. Also, maybe producing a version without melody, maybe a drum and bass version, some kind of acoustic version with no drums a lot of times. These are easy to output and they give the creator more options. And they give me more opportunities for sales, whether it's a library like Pond 5, which lets you put every single version up as an individual file for sale, or it's someplace like Motion Array or the Music Case where they have the different versions that are attached to the main version. Other edits might include a 60-second edit, a 30-second edit, a 15-second edit. I don't do those as much as I used to. Like sync, I am always looking for new libraries, new places to sell these songs. And like sync, I am counting on upfront money from these libraries. Hopefully every month, hopefully semi-often. But I am also concerned with the backend. And yes, we do have a backend for royalty-free stock music. Like we count on our PROs to bring in back-end performance royalties from TV or other usage, stock composers also have a back-end royalty system, and it's called Content ID. Now, for me, in working with this, and I'm still in the development phases of understanding how it's going to bring in the most music income, but this seems like companies like Identify and AdRev. I have recently signed my entire stock music catalog with Identify. Now, you may see companies like CD Baby, DistroKid, and other distributors collecting YouTube monetization or Content ID money. I would recommend against using these for your stock music. Also, you may see libraries like SongTrader, AudioSparks, and Jamendo also acting as a Content ID collector. I would not suggest these either. Both these last two are third-party type add-on type of things, and I just don't think they're going to bring in the income that someplace like Identify or AdRev, who 100% focus on Content ID collection as their business. Again, all this depends on how much music that you have had downloaded from libraries and how much is being used in YouTube. If you only have 10 songs on Pond 5 and have only had one download or no downloads, then you really can't expect any income from these companies. Now, this is where the line between stock and sync becomes important. If you ever plan to pitch music to a sync library, especially an exclusive one, do not enroll that music in Content ID. In fact, some stock libraries might be hard for you to get out of and get those songs into an exclusive library. That's why it's so important to keep your sync music focused on sync libraries and your stock music focused on stock music libraries. Two types of music for different uses, each on their own side of the line. And if you're like me and you create music for sync libraries, but you end up dumping them into stock libraries if you don't get them signed into exclusive libraries, beware. Once you go down that road and you enroll these songs into an AdRev or an Identify and it's in a Content ID system, it's likely in there from 1 to 3 years. This is one reason why I was leery of using Content ID for so long. Again, this is why the line is important. I have to make a decision that no matter what, the songs I put into stock are for stock libraries, and the songs that I write for sync are for sync libraries. Once I make the decision that no matter what, songs I put in stock are for stock music and for stock music libraries alone, and for Content ID. They are stock music songs. They can't be pitched to exclusive libraries who may want those Content ID rights. The songs I make for sync are really designed to be pitched and accepted by exclusive music libraries. In fact, I recommend not even registering songs for sync into your PRO. And the reason for this is that you might get them signed to a library and get involved in a deal, and that deal might involve the library becoming a 50% partner in the publishing or being the publisher of the song. This is a pretty standard deal, but it is a little bit of a hassle when it comes to registering the song with the PRO, and if it's already registered, they have to change that information. Can be done, but it can take some time and isn't quite as clean and easy to do for the publisher or the library. As you may know, on this channel, I talk about lots of ways to make music income, and I live on both sides of this line that I'm talking about. I do stock music, I do sync music. I think stock has its place as a side music, a passive income. But I also am really more focused on sync licensing, and I think it's a better long-term investment for my music and where I should put my time. So the line is very important to me, and I think you can now kind of see why it's important for you too if you're going to be doing both of these things. So yes, we can do both, but we've just got to be careful when we play on both sides of the line. So I hope this has helped you understand the differences between stock and sync. And I actually have another video about stock and sync and the differences right here. Be sure to ask any questions you might have on any of this right in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer those. And in the meantime, we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.